I thought there was a good game for us tonight. You know, San Jose played good the first half. They junked it up. They had us off balance. We couldn't find a rhythm offensively because they were mixing man, calling a 1-3-1 zone, but really dropping into a 2-3 zone, and just did some things to try to get us out of rhythm. With that being said, we played solid defense again. I told the guys, teams that don't have as good a record as you usually find ways to beat you if they hit threes. And they hit 10 threes tonight. So they put themselves in a position to be in the game for a long time. And we let a team that shoots 7 threes a game make 10 against us. So that was a little concerning. A lot of fouls in the first half. They beat us on the foul line, which is a reverse of the first game. So credit to San Jose and their coaching staff. They did a good job with adjustments. They kept the game close. And then, like good teams do, which we have a good team, we had a spurt in the second half that kind of broke the game open thanks to Terrell's aggressiveness at the offensive end for himself and his teammates, and Jordan's hot shooting kind of gave us the spurt we needed to come out of here with a nice victory.
Thank you so much, Coach. First up, Ben Fletcher.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. Looking for a little update on Matt Mitchell. It seemed at times to me he was almost a little tentative on that ankle, but that could just be my brain playing tricks. What do you see out of his game tonight?
You know, Matt is in shape, but he's not in game shape. When you miss 3 or 4 practices in a game, I thought he got tired quick. And I know he's in shape because he works so darn hard. But he wasn't in game shape because he hasn't been full in practice. You know, he missed the game the day between games. All we did was a walkthrough. We didn't really go up and down. And so this is Matt's first up and down in about 5 or 6 days. So I think he fatigued pretty quick. And so I think that'll be a quick turnaround. Once he gets back in the rhythm of practice, I think he'll look a lot better as a whole as we move forward.
And in 3 of the last 4 games, we've seen Lamont Butler go over 10 points. What is the ceiling you see for this freshman? He looks really special to me.
Yeah, Lamont's playing good basketball. But as a coach, I have to demand he goes another level higher. You know, so he has to play a full 40. There were a couple plays at the end. He had a chance to get 14, 16 points. So Lamont is a very good freshman who continues to grow his game, take care of the ball, find his teammates, and then score in and around the basket at a high level.
And then one question for Terrell, if that's okay.
Yep.
Terrell, you seemed really, really comfortable tonight, more so than you have in the last few games. How did you feel about your game? What was a little different tonight?
I saw gaps. I try to drive as much as I can and find shooters when I push the ball and defense stop me. I saw I got to the line, so I just want to stay in attack mode, you know, try to get downhill and then take open shots.
All right, thanks, guys. Congrats.
Up next is Mark Ziegler.
I'll start with you, Coach. You made that sub early in the second half and put AG in for Matt. I'm assuming Matt was a little bit tired. That seemed to sort of flip the game there.
Yeah, Matt had gone up and down with it. There wasn't a lot of dead balls in that stretch. Teams were going back and forth. I thought Matt looked a little tired, and so I think the substitution was at a good time where Matt could get a little rest. We got AG in there, and like AG did the first game, when he got in the game, he got a turnover on the press. He's just an energy guy, so he provided good energy for us when he came in the game, and we were able to spurt out a little bit.
Your technical foul looked suspiciously like you were trying to get it.
I don't think so, but obviously I deserved it or I wouldn't have got it. So it's tough to get a technical when you're not using a lot of profanity, and I don't use any profanity. So I must have tried to make my point too enthusiastically.
AG in the first half asked out of the game, and it looked like he was staggering a little bit. The vertigo would come back. Did he start feeling better that you were able to put him in for that stretch in the second half?
Yeah, he must have had some type of recovery. I mean, he didn't do shoot around today because he was feeling a little out of balance, and so he went home, rested, came back, said he would warm up and see how he felt. So obviously he said he felt well enough to play, but I think, you know, sometimes it just comes on, and so we get him out of there when it does, and if he tells us he feels good enough to go back in, then we give him another stint.
I have a question for Terrell. I don't think you've missed a free throw all season, and I know, I mean, how well you shoot free throws. What's it like when you miss a free throw? What's it going to mean in terms of what happens in the gym the next few days?
I mean, well, I was just telling my teammates, I haven't really been to the free throw line as I usually get to the line. So when I kind of got up there, it felt like a little foreign to me. Like, I wasn't really used to it because it's been a while since I shot, free throws. I think I only shot 8 on the year. So kind of felt a little weird because it's been a while since I shot one in the game. So I'm not surprised I missed it. I just got to just get back to the drawing board and start my routines of just trying to make my free throws.
And what is it about free throws in you? I mean, you have an incredible career, Mark. Is it something obviously you must pride yourself in?
Yes, I look at it as free money, so I like that. So I do my routine every day, where I try to make either swishes or I try to make 15 in a row to leave. So I just try to prepare myself, and then sometimes I have days where I just try to make as many as I can until I miss, and that's pretty much it.
Last thing, what's your record? How many in a row have you made?
I made a lot. I can't remember. That's what I'll say. I made a lot, but everybody misses sometimes, so that's what I'll say.
Over 100?
Yeah, definitely over 100.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. Up next, Paul Garrison.
Chris over Jordan, please. Jordan, you opened the game with a 3, and then you had a cold spell. And then you got hot, obviously, in the second half. How did you keep your confidence to continue to kind of shoot yourself out of that cold stretch?
I mean, you have to have confidence to play this game. I think everyone on this team has confidence, and I mean, that doesn't really go through our minds. You just got to keep shooting, keep playing, keep being aggressive. If you don't have an aggressive mindset, then you shouldn't be on the court. That's how I look at it. So you just got to keep being aggressive, everyone.
And you had 200 threes on your career now. What does that mean to you to hit that number?
I don't really know what that means. I guess I shoot a lot of threes.
Last question for Coach, please. Coach, kind of the same question. What do you as a coaching staff do to be able to keep that confidence in your players to kind of shoot through some of those spells when they're not, quite humming like they would like to?
They just got to have a swagger about them. Good teams have confidence. You can see it the way they walk on the floor. They carry themselves on the floor. And I have a confident team. Not every shot's going to go in. I understand that. But I don't want them getting tentative. I want them to be aggressive. And if they get their look, I want them to take it every time they get it.
And then, do you have any update on Adam?
Adam was in a boot. He's been bothered a little bit with a calf strain. And we thought we wanted to rest him to get him ready for the stretch run. So we have a nice break now before we play Fresno. I think an 8-game break or 8-day break. So we'll rest Adam, get him rehab, and get him healthy for the stretch run.
Thank you, Coach. I have one for Terrell, please.
Terrell.
In the first half, you really lifted the team offensively. Was that something that you sensed you needed to step up in that situation? And I guess how did your experience help you to do that?
It's not often, where I get to lead the team, like that. So I felt like the ball was finding me. I felt like I was getting the ball out of the outlets and pushing the ball, just playing downhill. So I saw a lot of gaps. I just tried to just stay really, really aggressive. And I saw that we were in the bonus. So whenever we're in the bonus, I try to really push the ball to draw a foul. I mean, I felt like I fouled on one play where I kind of lost it, but I just still picked it up anyway and got a floater in the paint. But whenever it's a bonus, I just try to get downhill and, see if I can get a hand check foul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, Troy Hirsch.
And then I'll start with Terrell, but I'll ask the same question to all 3 guys, if I could please. Terrell, you've won these games by at least 22 points, I believe, is the margin of victory. On paper, these are 6 games that you're supposed to win, but the fact that you've won them by the margins that you have, what does that say about this team and not just squeaking by these games that you quote should win?
I think it just says that we have like a lot of mental toughness, but I still think that we had a little lapse in the first half of this game. I felt like we didn't come with the same aggression. Even though we were missing shots, I feel like the energy could have been a little bit better. But overall, for us to win a lot of these games convincingly and not have no slip-ups, it shows that this team has a lot of veterans and a lot of players in their senior years.
And Coach, I'd like to hear your response of how you like them, or what you think of the fact that your team has won these games so convincingly.
Yeah, I told him at halftime, and it was a close game, and obviously we haven't had a close game for a while, and I told him it's going to be good for us. Yeah, I'd like to be further ahead, but this is good for us. To have a game where the margin's closer to halftime, we have to make some adjustments. We know we have to play better, and to have that kind of pressure to perform better in the second half, and I thought we responded well to that. Built a nice, comfortable lead again, and then we're able to win by a comfortable margin. So I like the fact it was close at halftime, and that we were able to come out and establish ourselves in the second half.
And then, Jordan, just kind of a variance on that. I think the other night you said you thought it was going to be a dogfight down the stretch. You kind of were in that in the first half. The fact that you were able to pull away in the second half, were you proud of your team to be able to do that?
Yeah, I'm definitely proud of our team and our effort. Seemed a little bit lethargic, myself included, but just to pull yourself out of that and come away with the win. Winning is never easy, no matter what. So you can always feel good about a win.
Thank you, guys.
Luis, you're up.
Oh, sorry about that. This question is for Coach. Coach, you talked all the time at the beginning of the season about how your team is constantly getting better and better. So when you see a win streak like the one that you guys have now, do you feel like that statement is kind of coming to fruition, or do you still feel like you guys are still on another level of improvement to get to?
We've got a lot of work to do. And I told the guys after the win tonight, we have 8 days to get better, not 8 days to rest. And there are so many things we can get better at. And it's not big things, it's the little things. They always make the difference. So we have to get better at a lot of little things in order to have the big-time success we all want.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, take us home, Mark.
Coach, the league told me today that they hope within the next week or so, by maybe the end of next week, to decide who's going to play who in that last week of the regular season for the conference tournament. Do you want to, you have those 2 games against UNLV that's hanging out there. Do you want to play those games, or would you prefer not to?
I hope the league makes a decision that allows the Mountain West to get the most teams in the NCAA tournament. So if that means we don't play those games, then that's what I'm in favor of. If other teams feel it's better to play those games, and then that's what we'll end up having to do. But in my opinion, we'd be better off not running the risk of playing those games for the teams that are already in solid net ranking positions to make the NCAA tournament.
And in terms of this 8 days off, now you've seen your team play these 2 against San Jose State. Do you feel like you needed another game? If you can get one, will you look for one, or do you think you're good and you'll just take these 8 days and get ready for Fresno State?
We're always currently looking for games, and I was texting with the coach today, and we're trying to find a date that works for both teams, and if we can find that date, we'll play another game.
And that would be this in the next week?
Either the next week or the week between the end of the regular season and the conference tournament, if we're allowed to do that.
So I'm assuming this would be a sort of a high net value game?
This would be a higher net team than we are.